What's up, front seat? Sean Provencher here with the Path Real Estate team. I've got my brother Dylan Provencher here as well.
Hey, gang.
And we just wanted to share our top 4 reasons to script with you guys.
All right, let's set it off. Number 1.
All right, I'm going to go first. Okay, the first reason that I always like to help people understand why scripting is important is because you're already scripted and you don't know it. I teach scripting classes all the time, and invariably I'll always have someone in the room who goes, look, I don't like scripting. I don't want to sound canned.
I don't want to be a robot. It sounds unnatural.
Yeah, I'm better off just being me. And I'm like, listen, if you've been on more than 10 presentations, you already are using scripts. They're just scripts that are yours. So by practicing scripting, you're just going to be learning more scripts, and you might, chances are you probably will replace some of your scripts with scripts that are just better than the ones that you thought of off the cuff, because there's hundreds of thousands of agents in Canada. There's millions of agents in the United States. Don't you think they might have a couple tricks up their sleeves that you didn't just, happen to come upon and by your own?
And I gotta say too, it's our responsibility to know what to say. We're trying to guide people through a massive transaction that they're not used to even making decisions of this business sophistication. So it's our job to know what to say when. The second reason for scripting is listening. The fact is that if you know what you need to say next, you can actually focus on listening to what your clients are saying and making sure that you hear what their ultimate desires are so that you can help guide them towards it through good scripting.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever knocked on a door before a listing presentation and thought, oh crap, what if they say this? Or geez, what am I gonna do when I get in here?
It makes your heart rate spike, and invariably it makes you look dumb.
And nervous.
Yeah.
And if you walk into an appointment feeling dumb and looking nervous, it's not a good leg to stand on.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be able to listen. So know what you're gonna say, practice your objection handlers, and walk in cool as a cucumber, ready to knock it out of the park, baby. Okay, reason number 3. You can't afford not to script. Front seaters, here's the deal. If you're in a market like mine, you don't sell a lot of houses every year. You sell a few houses and you make a ton of money every time that you sell one. Our average commission is around $15,000, which is great. But that also means that if you say something silly or you say, while you're thinking when they ask you a question, then you might be putting yourself in a position where you're losing $15,000 just because you didn't think quick enough or you didn't practice your scripts and have a great objection handler. Yeah. So let's just play a little game. Imagine that 5 times a year, you say something silly that stops you from losing a piece of business. And in my market,
from getting a piece of business.
Yeah, stops you from getting a piece of business. And this could even be as simple as something that you said at the door.
And just to be clear, our average commission is closer to 20 grand. So if you do it 5 times, it's basically 100 grand, which is admission to Harvard.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If you could go to Harvard for free, do you think you would say yes?
Yes.
Because if you had a free ticket to Harvard, then you could move yourself forward in a lot of different ways, and we're basically paying that. Stop robbing your children and start practicing scripting right now, front seaters. Dylan, what's the last reason that people have to script?
Well, you know what? The thing is, Sean, is that I actually think that I should stop scripting because I'm very well scripted. I know what to do.
So right, so you've been practicing scripting for like a year and you're a master of scripts now.
So can I stop, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you just sleep in an extra half hour every morning? That would probably be better use of your time.
The answer is absolutely not, you guys. And here's the reason. The market's constantly changing. Let me give you an example. You take an average market center, okay? That's a real estate brokerage for anyone not with Keller Williams. And what do you think the head recruiter needs to recruit just to stay at net zero? Remembering that the average turnover at a market center, so this would be natural attrition, is typically industry-wide. It's about 30%. People getting out of the business, people moving, people choosing to move to another
Wife got a new job, I retired, whatever.
Whatever the case is, about 30%. So if you have 100 agents, you need to recruit 30 just to stay at net zero. Everyone with me so far on the math?
Ouch.
Right. So the fact is that it's the exact same thing with scripting. And I've seen this with agents. Really great agents will stop scripting, and all of a sudden, 6 months later, their business dries up and they can't figure out why. They kept prospecting, everything's going fine. Things are changing so fast in this business that if you're not actively updating your scripts for what's going on in the market, frankly, like weekly, you're in huge trouble and you'll actually see a massive dip. I personally have seen it. And on my team, I've seen it to the tune of double for someone who kept scripting versus someone who just totally stopped. So it's so critical that you keep going because your skills don't just stay where they are, they atrophy and dry up. So by not scripting, you're not staying the same, you're getting worse.
So pay your way to Harvard, have better ability to listen. You're going to make sure that you aren't part of the 30% that dries up in our industry every year. And what was the last one?
Your heart rate will stay low, and you're getting worse if you're not getting better.
Yeah.
There is no staying the same.
Look good and be smart. You guys want to do that, so practice your scripts, and we've got a free scripting call that we open to anyone who wants to participate every Tuesday morning. So if you want to be part of that, reach out to us.
Yeah, and be vocal on it, because to be honest with you, some people take the scripting calls as edutainment. That's the worst. You may as well not be on the call. So
yeah, you got to get the words out your own lips.
Yeah, stand up and say something.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one, front seaters.